it says it's live. Okay. Let me flip back to overhead. Okay, sorry about the background noise. It's my Mars Elegoo 3D MSLA printer is on an 8.5 hour job, so I should have moved it further away, but anyways, it's noisy, but my audio has been listening perfect the last few sessions anyways, so too bad. Hopefully you can still hear me over the noise. I am going to try to clean this awesome keyboard that I just got that's old, that looks like this. I already cleaned this case. This model is the Epson Q703D-AA. Leather dome and foil, which is basically like it's also called proto-topre because it's a precursor to topre that's very similar. It's also similar to the Keytronic foam and foil and others. Yeah, this part's clean, looking good, I like it. Now we're going to look at trying to clean this PCB and some rubber dome stuff. So let's, and by the way, the keycaps have been ultrasonic cleaned, so they're looking good. So, yeah, we're gonna do the PCB, and then we're gonna try to look at. I have a few goals. We'll see how far we get, but this is foam and foil replacement from Select. Let's see if we give them a little props there. And I was going to put it on my Keytronic, but I want to try one key on this Epson and see if it's going to work. But first of all, I'm just going to try to solve this, give this PCB a cleaning. Oh, I was going to say the rubber dome is where the foam and foil attached to, and it's got some of the gook from the previous like foil and foam that was in there, so I want to see if I can clean a piece and maybe put this on one piece and stack it up on the board and see if, you know, I have a fear that this foam is too thick. That's another problem, so we got a lot to look at, but let us start with this PCB. Now I think from my research this PCB actually might be missing solder mask entirely, so that's why it's a bit of a problem, but I put it under the microscope over here. Let's see if we can see it close up and maybe see what I'm talking about here. Get some pieces under the scope here. I guess so. Oxidation has possibly or probably occurred. I don't know, let's scan over a few of these and see. And we'll be able to see afterwards. I don't know what all's going on here, but it looks kind of rusty or dirty. Could be the foam and, oh, actually it could just be the foam and foil. I just rubbed one off and it came off. So let's see if this is, so this is the one. I bet it's just the foam and foil stuff. There you go, most of it came off. Well, regardless, I think we can give it a good cleaning here, so let's do it. Let me switch back to overhead. Now, you can read along with me what we're going to do. Let's get that on the screen. I did some research and I liked this one that said, yeah, this article from PCB Corrosion, article that talks about using baking soda to clean it. So we're on step 3 here, cleaning with baking soda and distilled water. Combine 1 part baking soda with 2 to 4 parts water until it becomes a thick paste. And then use your brush to scrub it into the corroded areas. So this is interesting because it's actually probably not even corroded. So now I'm a little, I jumped the gun too soon. That's just the, but I don't think, yeah, I don't know what to do here because realizing it's just the, whoops, jeez. realizing that it's just the foam residue that's on there might make me change my mind a little bit here. I'm trying to decide. Because I was hoping the board's like, it's not old enough to really have any kind of corrosion. So, if we go through the steps again, it's actually quite onerous, and it might be fun just to do it regardless of whether it needed it, just to get the experience. So you clean with baking soda paste and let it sit for 20 to 30 minutes, drying, and then rinse it with some more distilled water, then household cleaner, and a dry lint-free towel, and then you dry it in the oven. So this is interesting stuff. So we're going to try steps 3 through 5 here. Oops. Yeah, we're going to try steps 3 through 5. Let me highlight it over here on the right screen. And see what happens. So let's make our little baking. So we need 1 part baking soda to 2 to 4 parts water. So let's figure that out. Yeah, okay. Whoops, I got too many things going on here. Dang it. I'm staring at my OBS, but I'm driving the wrong screen when I do it. So, oh yeah, so back over to this screen and overhead. So I'll move this up a bit. I got this bowl that I was going to use, and this is I got a tablespoon here. So let's go with a tablespoon. I've never done this before, so I don't know how many we're going to need, but okay. There's 1 tablespoon. Sorry, I shouldn't have got white. No, it's not good for the light, but maybe we'll see. And let's do 1 more. So yeah, I got a little bit of powder on my drying cloth here, but now let's try to do a measurement of the distilled water. So we want 1 part baking soda to 2 to 4 parts water. So I'm gonna go 2 parts water, and I got 2 of those baking sodas, so I'm gonna do 4 parts water. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see what how that goes. Combine them until they become a thick paste. So what am I going to stir them with? I didn't think about that. I suppose I could just use the tail end of this for a second, see how that goes. Thick paste, okay. I don't get how that much water is going to thicken up, but we'll see. It's not very thick. So it said 1 part baking soda to 2 parts water is what I did, 2 to 4 parts. But and combine until it becomes a thick paste, you know? It's not combining it good enough yet. Getting any thicker? I don't think it is. Well, I have a feeling it's supposed to be thicker than that. Kind of just getting slushed around on the bottom, but not mixing well enough to become a paste. Is that a paste? In my book, that's not a paste. I'm sorry you can't see it because of the light, but pushing around pretty good. And if I tilt it a little bit, the bottom's kind of paste, I guess. So I guess the top might have water and the bottom's a paste, and I can dip the brush into it far enough to get it to be thick enough to go on the board. I don't know. We shall try. Alright, well, let's say that's thick enough, even though it's not. And now we're going to clean it with baking soda and distilled water. So combine them. Use your brush to scrub the solution into all the corroded areas. Allow the board to dry for 20 to 30 minutes and then rinse with some more distilled water. So let's see if we can do what they're saying here. So we'll use this surface. Let's see, can we take this guy off? No, he's soldered on there. This guy can come off, but not. I mean, I'd like to be able to use this board, but I don't really need that controller as long as the pathways are fine. Maybe some of this I don't care if I damage it, but I'm not trying to damage anything on purpose. Let me get an ESD brush is what I was thinking. See if I have one in my tool set here. Just put myself with a sharp instrument. Oh, spudger. Spudgers are really sharp. ESD brush. Very soft, but so maybe I could actually end up doing more damage than, you know, this just has some kind of foam, dead foam on it that made me think it was corroded, but so I could end up doing more damage than help here, but let's just try it. Try to keep an eye on it. So here's the foam, doesn't really stay on there. It didn't thicken up to a paste really, other than that, so maybe I'll try to transfer that a little bit. See if that. I'm just going to rub gently on each of the each copper circle. So it's pretty funny that this whole time I thought it was corrosion, but it was just the foam, remnants of foam shrapnel, but if this, you know, I got it all apart, so and I've wanted to try some of these, so whether this needed it or not, we're going to do it. Okay, there's some holes. Okay, so there's one row. Yeah, looks fairly clean underneath. Maybe I'll grab some more, try to grab some more sludge, baking soda, sludge, and get it on this next row. Let's scrub each one on this row and see what we got. I guess let's leave a little film on there too, so that it says to let it dry for 20 minutes, so that'll be interesting. See what it looks like 20 minutes from now. Alright, let's try another row, shall we? Tapping out the excess water, trying to get more of the what they described as paste, even though to me this is not a paste. But I do feel like this will give it a good cleaning, and I hope it doesn't damage anything. Let's see if we can see any of the brush strokes on the copper under the microscope. See if I brush too hard on anything when I get done. Okay. Okay, let's go with this row. Have the urge to do a circular pattern now all of a sudden. Not sure why. They look a little shinier. Well, hard to tell, I guess. Maybe not. Oh, we did that row, so we're on this row. Like I said, trying to get some of the goop. At least if it looks white, it's got some baking powder on it. Baking soda. It is. Okay, let's do this row. Give each guy a little scrubby dubby. Hopefully minimally we'll at least get rid of that dead foam chunks that have been sitting on there. Hopefully get a good clean surface to baking this to 170 degrees sounds a little scary. Well, you know, you do the preheat till it actually heats all the way up, and then I think it's just trying to dry it out and get any liquid off of it to needs to be completely dry. It doesn't do well with any moisture, liquid. Okay, if anything, I probably pressed too hard there, but we need to let that sit for 20 minutes. I don't know what is this stuff. Just chunks of baking soda and water, I guess. Guess it won't hurt anything. Now, while that's sitting, and let's see, what time is it? 8 o'clock. So at 8:20, we will do the next step of that. In the meantime, let's look at cleaning at least one of these. So there's chunks of these. You've seen the rubber dome stuff before. It comes in strips, 2 or 3 rows at a time in some spots, but as you can see, solo and a couple others. So I'll need 2 to do the experiment to see whether this foam is too tall or not. So our goal right now is going to be to clean these guys out. So they also could do some baking soda, I read, but mostly warm soap, warm mild dish soap water. I think I'll get another little thing with, I'll put distilled water in it and some simple green, which we'll use for this too, maybe. So let me go try that. I'll be back in a second. Actually, I think I can pause the video for a sec while I do that. Okay, I'm back, and I got some more stuff. Let's see. Oh, I didn't get my simple green out of my required box here. So I'm gonna try a little simple green. Hope this doesn't damage. It doesn't have phosphates, which is good, but I don't know if it's the parts per million is so strong. You're supposed to just use a little bit. That's probably too much, but I don't know. Live and learn, I guess. Now here's distilled water. So I'm gonna add some distilled water into this thing. I like that quite a bit because I put too much simple green in. And now, basically, I think let me see if I can reread what I used to say for this. Give me 1 sec, I'm trying to find something I did in the past and see what it says roughly. So, rubber dome, rinsed in warm water, that's it. Okay, well, I don't know whether I want to, kind of want to stir that soapy stuff up. And then I guess we can, I don't know how fragile these domes are, but let me see. They're so thin, like if I turn them inside out, what I'm trying to see is what is this stuff on here? Is it a foil? Is it glue? Is it plastic? And we have our answer. Again, another thing I didn't check before. This is a glue to the it's a glue stick. So every one of those pieces has one of these on it. So I guess I should take that off of all of them and rinse them and clean them somehow. I guess just probably this soapy water rinse is good enough. But then what am I going to do with them? I guess I'll put them in here and then so maybe I should take the foil out first and then we'll rinse them all. Not the foil, the remnants of the foam and foil, which it's just a sticky pad, okay? So I'll put a couple of these, let's put a couple under the microscope and you can see better what I'm talking about here. But I'm gonna get these out. And then, yeah, let's take this one, I'll take this first one out of here. Hope this isn't a dangerous thing. Seems pretty safe. The rubber seems pretty good right now. But let's put this under the microscope and I'll show you what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, so here, I can raise this up too. Let's raise it up. Okay. Get her in focus. Yeah, so these three have still have their little disc in them that's the remnants of the foil sandwich. Actually, I put one of those under there and then you'll really see what I'm talking about. So what I'm saying is this is what foam and foil looks like. It's got the shiny mylar or whatever on one side. That's going to make the electrical contact. And on the other side, it's got you peel off this and it'll have glue on it, and then we'll stick that to the rubber dome. And in between the two is just foam, a little bit of foam. So let's see. So I think that's clear enough from the video what I'm talking about, where this one has that piece of plastic that had glue on it removed, These, it's still stuck, you know, it's stuck to all of them basically. I gotta take it apart on all of them. So back to overhead, and we'll just work our way through these guys. There's one. Careful not to damage the rubber. Let's see if I can zoom in. There's one. Okay, I'll move these over and try to work right here in this space. Okay, here's one. I'm just using my fingernail, but seems like it should do the job. Gonna be a bit tedious, but we're trying to kill 20 minutes anyways while the baking soda's drying. The paste is drying for some reason. Not sure why it says to let it dry. Foam shrapnel, dead foam, you can feel it, tiny grains. That's what was on the PCB, that's what's on this. So yeah, everything needs a good cleaning. So this is worthwhile exercise. This keyboard's worth it. The Keytronic keyboard I had, probably not worth it. But I was like, the Keytronic was literally the first keyboard I got from a recycler. They're old, but the foam and foil is not too popular with most folks. I think it'd be fine, but I want more than fine. And this Epson with Brother Dome and foil is worthy of restoration for sure. It's a beautiful keyboard, and the feel of it, this dome and foil, is pretty awesome. So a lot of obstacles though, all this cleaning, and then the Epson, it's got a weird cable interface out the back, but so I'll probably just put my own controller and USB it out anyways, but rather than a converter. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe a converter if it's doable. But I haven't done either of those, so I don't really know what I'm talking about, but I'll get there. Oh, I meant to show off some, I was using Mesh Mixer and working on a keycap stem mod, and then I realized I was a dummy, and every time I made a new revision, I had to start over from the solid was useless. I had to start over again with my 2D layer and change the dimensions and then build up the solid again. And then I realized after some internet searching that that's what real CAD programs are for, parametric modeling, which lets you, after it's a solid, you can still change the dimensions, and it just does the right thing because you defined all the relationships. Oftentimes in 2D, I'm choosing Autodesk, AutoCAD's Fusion 360 to learn, and I already have my jig and my keycap stem in there, and parametric, so that I can change the sizes in 3D without having to go back. But it's kind of fun, you know, the feeling that you can make anything in 3D and then print it. Now that I got my Mars Elegoo printer, is also amazing, very good resolution for small things, and $220 to buy it, so geez, no brainer. So that's what made me also learn Fusion 360, because yeah, I can, whatever I can think of, I can model, and then I can print it. So I'm heading for way more stuff. I'm going to be doing plates. I'll prototype plates in resin or resin, and then when the dimension's right, then I can send it off to get a metal plate made. But fact that I can prototype now with my own, with everything on my own, like my own modeling, my own printer, resin printer, and it's opens up a lot of ideas that I hadn't thought about till I got the. It wasn't until after I got the printer that I started to realize what I could. Some ideas started popping in my head. All right, we're getting there slowly. I might try to hand dry one of them so that I can do that experiment of whether the new foam and foil is going to work. I might save it for, maybe I'll save it for another episode. I was anxious to find that out, but I think I got enough stuff to do here for the evening. I already did a bunch of 3D modeling earlier in the day and thought I was going to not do any more in my hobby, but took a break for a few hours and then decided to come back and do this because I've been doing 3D modeling basically for the last 2 or 3 weeks and kind of getting burned out on it, so I wanted to get back to some other projects like this one. This one's exciting. Looks like I forgot to pop my domes back in a couple. Okay, 3 left on this one. The rubber seems like it's still in good shape and gonna last. Hate to tear one of these, but I do have to pop them inside out to kind of get out the disc there, but alright, another one done. Let's do the next one. Peel those discs off. There's a little pile here so you can see the building. Garbage pile. Lots of little dusty particles. I'm probably throwing them all onto the PCB right now too, which I don't really want to do. So let's move that aside a little further. There's our fish scale pile. Kind of looks like fish scales. It's kind of fun actually, some of this mechanical where you got your hands on doing stuff. When you pop the rubber inside out, you got to get a little bend in the seam so that you can feel the edge of the plastic disc that's glued on there. So you just got to find that right edge to get a grip on it. It's kind of fun actually. This is a fun hobby, I gotta say. There's so many little projects and problem solving. There's many ways to do the same thing. So being creative and thinking of maybe the easiest or something that's going to work well. It's kind of half the fun, the stimulation. All right, let's get our remaining rubber domes out here. A bunch of singles, it looks like. Done them first. I like doing the hardest part of the work first, and then I like it to get easier as I go, but looks like I failed on this one. I left the hard part for the end. It's not hard, it's much easier when you got a sheet of these domes and to peel off the next one. There's not as much leverage to get the get at that seam to pull off like I was mentioning. It's much harder. It's scary actually, I don't want to tear any of these guys. Yeah, I should have probed harder when I took this keyboard apart. I thought this was just glue and foam stuck to the rubber dome. That doesn't make sense, so should have realized it was a plastic disc. I think I did try to look, but I didn't look close enough, or didn't try to. I think I tried to peel it off too, and I just didn't catch the right edge, I guess. It's obvious now. It's kind of nice to know that, yeah, the boards that used foam and foil, it's basically the same for all of them, including, you know, this one's really no different than the, as far as the foam, the way the foam is used, and the only thing I worry about is the thickness of that foam layer. Maybe that varied between keyboards models, and of all these ones like Brother Dome and Foil that I've watched videos of, it's just gone. You can't tell what height it used to be. Whereas the foam and the Keytronics, I actually got 3 of the same lot at the recycler, and there's definitely ones that haven't disintegrated, so I can see the depth of the foam, and it matches the stuff I ordered from. And TechSelect also says this is successfully worked with, and they name a bunch of keyboards, but they didn't name Brother Foam and Foil, so I sent them a message on their website, but they didn't answer. I was kind of hoping they would, about whether anyone's done it, and I showed them a couple video links to what dome and foil is, as opposed to the foam and foil that they're used to, and I thought they'd be interested, but maybe they just haven't checked their email yet. But it's been maybe a week or 2, so hope they're still in business. I don't know how they're doing, but I'm glad I ordered. Like I said, I ordered a shipment of replacement foam and foil for my Keytronic, and now that I got this beautiful Epson Brother Dome and Foil, I'm gonna use it for that. I'm gonna use that stuff I bought from them for this if it works. But that's the test I gotta do. Is the foam thicker? So I'm gonna get one of these cleaned up and put the glue one of the foam and foils to one key character, put it in the keyboard kind of, and make sure the travel is not like limited, like cut in half or something wrong. I'm hoping it's fine, because I'm lucky. It's hard enough to get someone. You'd have to make your own foam and foil basically at that point, and to get that picky, I guess I'm down with that if it's required. But I was kind of hoping it's all just standard foam thickness across the board, and the TechSelect one should be fine. So I don't know, but we will cross our fingers.
Silence, crackbaits.
Yeah, so come on, we're down to the last few here. This one's hard to even get flipped inside out at all. There we go. Yeah, this surface, I got one of those drying mats for your dishes on your countertop. It's microfiber drying mat, and so because we were going to be sloshing around some water and stuff, but now I need it to actually dry this stuff. But I guess at least I can flip it over and use the other side that doesn't have baking powder and maybe this dirty foam stuff on it. And, so probably just flip it over, I guess. Comes time to dry and clean pieces here. Well, we did all the foam. Now what? What time is it? It's 8:21. So, I kind of want to. What do I want to do here? I think I need more water, but right now I'm going to set aside. I'm going to zoom out for a sec. Okay, I'm gonna set aside the foam and foil, the rubber domes, I guess, for now. I might need a fresh batch of cleaning when I get to them. This stuff's dead. Where to put it? I guess in this bag, because this bag had the dirty everything else in it. So when I get done cleaning it, I'll get a new bag for that. So this will get it out of our way at least. Okay. Cool. All right. Now let's read what the next step is. I'll read it. It says, allow the board to dry for 20 to 30 minutes, then rinse with more distilled water. And then use household cleaner to make another pass. So for the rinsing, I think I'm going to use this bowl I brought. So then I guess we'll just slosh them. Let's see. I don't know how we're supposed to do that. Let's see. Let's see what happens if I pour it on some of it. It says rinse, so I mean, I could. I guess it's fine because we're gonna bake it in an oven anyway. So let's try some rinsing, I guess. It seems so weird to pour water over the whole damn thing, but since we are going to cook it, I guess we're gonna be alright. Cooking it might fry some other stuff, but okay, so that's a distilled water rinse. Now it says we're gonna go for household cleaner. Spray all the corroded parts and use a clean brush to scrub again, and then pat the board dry with a lint-free towel. So I have lots of towels. I have this one I can dip in the, so I don't have a spray for the cleaner, but I have this simple green. I dip this cloth in it and I give it a little rinse that it wants, I guess, right now. That's my daughter. She's joking in the background. She likes to act like she's mad, but she's actually joking. Okay. I don't know, man. So it said spray that on there, but honestly, I don't have spray. But so was what I did good enough, or I'm gonna dip another part of the cloth in here and maybe kind of just be more liberal about letting it roll down the face of it. So this is the cleaner. So I don't know now. Let's see. So now what? And then use a clean brush to scrub again and pat the board dry with a lint-free towel. So let me see if I have another brush. Otherwise, I guess I'll rinse that one. I do have another brush. Okay. So, use a clean brush to scrub again. So let's just do a little scrub as we go down each line here. Actually, I'm going to go past halfway and then I'm going to flip it, I guess. So this cleaner, I'm using simple green. I don't have too high of a concentration, but the copper's looking pretty good, I guess. fun. Okay. Let's try this end. Yeah, I don't think, like I said, I don't think there's any corrosion, but since I was all set up to do this exercise, I wanted to go through the steps of it anyways, and I mean, yeah, it could hurt, maybe destroy the board, in which case I'd just make another PCB or something, but hopefully it's just gonna clean it and it'll be ready to go back together, and that'll be nice. Okay, so now it says use a nice, what does it say? And then board, pat the board dry with the lint-free towel, so that's what I'm doing right now. I like that it gets set back in the water, so keep it up here. Patting it dry with the lint-free towel. Gets stuck on the solder joints. I'm gonna flip it now because I can feel some soapy stuff back here. This is phosphate-free simple grains and distilled water, so supposedly it's fine. Okay, guess what? Dry the PCB in the oven. Set the oven to 170 and then turn it off completely once it finishes preheating. Place the circuit board in the oven to let dry the PCB in the oven. So set the oven to 170, then turn it off completely once it finishes. Then place the circuit board in the oven to let the lingering heat dry any remaining moisture. Doesn't even say how long that's going to take. That's scary. Okay, well, I'm going to go start the oven preheat. Give me a second. Okay, so so this is just feeling it to see what's going on here. I see streaks of probably soap, unfortunately. Same here. Hopefully that'll edge off. Jeez. What are we gonna do? I have a million microfiber rags, so I think I'll just do more distilled water because the soapy stuff is not great. Supposedly, I guess it would burn off, but it looks like a film is what looks like I got a film of it instead of. just gonna just do it on this back side because I think soap dripped down it, but never did clean it any at all. Not that I think it needs it either, but I did see some streaks on the back that made me think something's going on. Okay, well, I'm gonna set that on its ESD case, or ESD shielding bag. Now, let's get back to rubber dome, guys. So, wow, I think you can see the filthy stuff right there that's like foam particles. So the question is, how can we clean these domes efficiently, I guess, or, oh, did I forget? Look, I found one that I forgot to peel. Okay. Well, basically I think I'm gonna do a quick dip and with my fingers just kind of do that, and then we'll put them here, and then I guess distilled water after that, and then drying. So see where that goes. This water's gonna get a little dirty probably, but it's okay. It's got a lot of soap in it. I know that. Each little rubber dome gently hand washed, finger washed, to be the cleanest rubber domes in the land. Yeah, I think this is working. Feels like it's doing good. You can see the water's starting to get a little murky. It's actually just black foam as usual. You don't rinse these in distilled water in a basket that drains. Yeah, I'll figure it out next. Try to get all that little foam stuff off of that was floating around in there. At this point, I'm not too happy about that, but a lot of little foam in there at this point, but also some soap. Guess I'm too lazy to kind of redo to clean it and make more foam, more cleaner water, but okay. It's foaming water. One of the good ideas, like how would I strain it to get that small particles, those little foam things? How am I going to rinse it or strain it enough that they're all gone? Because you can see how many are floating around in the water, and a lot. But I guess it'll be clean enough at some point. It's not like the glue, I don't think it's a scenario where like the glue's not going to stick to the rubber dome or anything. It's just that, you know, once you see particles like that, you want them all gone. I mean, I don't want any foam floating around, so if I knew a way to get them out of there, so I guess a good, you know, distilled water rinse after this might just, I'll have to do. I'll have to figure out how to make sure that's as clean as possible. My resin printer's still going. I thought it might run out of resin on this batch, and I'm new to it, so I don't know what to expect, but I heard it just pauses and you add more resin, but kind of wanted to experience that. But I use it for like 2 weeks straight every night, once or twice, and then just took about 10 days off, so then I was worried the resin would be too hard. It was a little less liquidy or more solid, but it's still printed the last couple jobs, so it's fine, I guess. Okay, well, one more line here. So I guess we don't need to go anywhere. I can just sit here and I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to set this aside for a sec. And likewise, this dirty water. And get everything off of here. And I'm going to flip this bad boy. And now we have a clean side. Well, let's hope no liquid comes out of our thing here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a strainer to hold, so I can pour basically the liquid into distilled water over something that can strain the rubber. Got that little fry basket thing. Where's that? Where are you, little fry basket? Shoot. Get in here. That'd be perfect for this. Where is it? I got a little fry basket for doing cherry MX black stems so that they wouldn't go down the drain. But now I don't know where I put it. I don't think it's in the ultrasonic cleaner because that has its own basket. That's fine. So it has to be in this big tub. Oh, yeah, I think it might be this one. Yeah. Okay, check this out. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all those in here. Okay. And then I'm going to, I guess, try to give them another slosh and go. And that was spilling all over, but actually my hand's all stupidly soapy. Dang it. Okay. So these should not feel soapy, but they kind of do. So that means more rinsing necessary, but then my fingers got it all on it too. Guess I could try to dry it in microfiber, see if that helps. So I'd say that one's sort of ready for drying. Let's do the other big one. I'm good at some good sloshing around. Make sure it's going to spray me more. Okay. Let's do a dryer trick again. So I hope that gets enough of the soaps off there when it dries. It looks pretty good actually. So yeah, I think all these are probably had enough water sloshed on. Okay. What are we doing with our keyboard? Oh yeah, we're waiting for the oven to heat up. Allie, did the oven preheat yet?
I didn't hear it heat, but I didn't also hear it go. You didn't push start, Cal.
Oh, bummer. You got it for me?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Seems like the lowest it can do is 175.
That's why? Okay.
I don't know.
I pushed start, but I guess I didn't notice it.
Well, I did too, and then it changed it to 175.
Oh, maybe I didn't then. Okay. So now we're starting to preheat, I guess. Okay, oops, that one didn't do that. Okay, so I'm gonna. Yeah, this is kind of good, I think. I think it's gonna work. Switch to a different edge here, maybe. Get some drying going on. Yeah, we'll let these dry for a little bit, a couple days or something, and then we can try that experiment with a replacement foam and foil. Maybe I should try it on one first, make sure I don't have to order some different foam thickness. And we'll have cleaned, I think, all the parts of that keyboard, so I'm excited about that too, because one step closer to that project, coming to its final stages. Cleanings first, and we can start. We're gonna do the foam and foil, then maybe we can start figuring out electronics and conversions. It's nice to have one that's worth converting, let's just say that. Yeah, if you haven't followed my stuff, well, basically I get a lot from recycling centers, but not since COVID hit. So I kind of turned it into a little bit of the eBay habit there for a month. So I got 4 classic old ones in a month. Haven't seen anything good go by since. It's not true. I kind of bid on a couple TI 99 4As recently because they're. I have a couple that I bid on. One is TI 99 4A because that is stack pole, and I got a deck 52 or 50 VT50 that is also stack pole. So I was kind of a little bit obsessed about stack pole to see how they work, whether you can clean them, or whether they're. I already know the answer though. I watched Thomas's videos, and I felt the same thing. Like the grams of weight to push down on the stack pole ones, they're linears, but they're like 80 gram plus force, activation, actuation, whatever. And so yeah, they're a little bit daunting. So I probably just should redo the keycap stem modem and use them on other keyboards because they are beautiful double shot ABS. And then I also bid on a laptop that sounded interesting. Some of the older laptops have like kind of rarer Cherry MX switches and some Omron switches, and so I bid on a laptop that I'm excited to, that I think I gotta check here at 10 o'clock tonight to see if I win it. Alright, we got our rubber domes resting nicely. I'll go bake that PCB and then hope I don't fry it. And I don't know how long I'm supposed to wait for it to evaporate water. I guess I'll read some equation, make a guess, 10 minutes, 20, 30, 5 minutes, I don't know. I guess that's it for tonight. Thanks for watching.